Welcome to the Civil War Guru Show. My name is Steve Munson, and I am the Civil War Guru. And today we have an incredible grouping here. Now I'm shooting this with my regular camera phone, and I'm probably going to wiggle a little bit, so just bear with me. Now this is the essence of brother against brother in the Civil War. This is the Crittenden family. And the father was John Crittenden, the 17th governor of Kentucky. And he had two sons. He had George Crittenden, he was born in 1812. He had Thomas Crittenden, who was born in 1819. And what we have in front of you is both of their swords and some other things in the case itself. Now this is going to be in display at the Battle of the Western Theaters Museum down here in Bardstown, Kentucky. So we're going to get up close and personal, look at this stuff before it's installed into the museum. All right, now I'm going to wiggle and shake because I'm an old man, but we're going to get up close and personal. And first we're going to go to the left, which is George Crittenden. And I'll give you a little bow on him. That's the oldest son. And we're going to move up. We're going to get on his picture and his sword. All right, there you go. That's George in his Civil War photograph. And to the left is his Mexican war sword. Now this guy graduated from the academy in the 1830s. He's a smart kid. And then he was enamored by the West. So he left the United States military and joined the Republic of Texas military down in Texas. And he actually got captured in a battle down there. He was in jail in Mexico for almost 2 years. And his father, who was the governor of Kentucky, he got with Andrew Jackson and negotiated a deal. So Jackson went to Santa Ana and got him released after 2 years in prison. And then he returned back and joined the U.S. forces again in the Mexican War in 1846 and 47. And he was a hero in two battles, Churubusco and another one, Crittenden, I believe. And after that, he went back to Texas in U.S. Army. And he worked out around San Antonio. Fort Clark's the main one. But this, to the left of the photograph, is his sword, and it's got his name on it. We're going to get over here, kind of get a little close-up look at it. Get up on the handle. Again, bear with me. Beautiful sword. And he used this. He didn't look at this sword. He used this sword. We're going to come down it. And then I'm going to try to bring up the information on it. Get a little angle shot here. And there's a Federal Eagle. And has Major George B. Crittenden. B's for Bibb. Unusual second name, B-I-B-B. And then I'll see if I can get up close on this. Mounted rifles. And you can barely see the star. It's been wore off. And then Texas. And on. But I'll go down the scabbard. You can see the dents. This thing was actually used. And there's a field repair on it. And we're going to go down. And then back up. And I'm going to go slow, hopefully, so you don't get dizzy. But again, we're going to go back here on the presentation, or the ID. And there's the mounted rifles. I'm going to stay here just for a second. And underneath it is Texas. Get a little closer, maybe at an angle. Under the star down the bottom, you can see Texas. And then we'll get up here at the top. Major, that was his rank when he was in Texas. All right. And we'll go over here. Now this is an enlargement of the original photograph, which we're going to drop down. And again, there's the description of the sword. And that's is what he was doing between 1842 and 1861. And here's original CDV of him. Try to bring it into focus. Now, when the Civil War rolled around, he was the one that went south. And, you know, when he come back from Mexico after that 2 years in prison, you know, something happened to him. And he drank too much. I guess he was a full-blown alcoholic, unfortunately. And at the Battle of Mill Springs, first major battle in Kentucky, he disobeyed General Zollicoffer's orders, and the Confederates were defeated. And after that, his whole military career in the Confederacy just went zero. And he was a general at the Battle of Mill Springs, and he kind of got he resigned and kind of got put back in as a colonel and stayed colonel to the end of the war. And then after the end of the war, with his drinking problem, he couldn't get a job, so his father got him a job as the state librarian in Frankfort, Kentucky. And then he lived with his sister. He had a sister in Danville, Kentucky. Lived with her until he died in, I think, late 1880s, I think 89. And these artifacts come from Danville. They had a United Confederate Veterans Post there. And that's where they come from. And I guess his sister put them there. We're going to go down, and we're going to pick up, if I can get it here in focus, I'm going to spin the camera a little bit. And I'm going to take it off the power. There you go. And this was a gun that he acquired in Texas. And under the grip, it's kind of obscurely marked. It says his initials and it has F.T. Clark. It's Fort Clark, Texas. And it had, under the grip, it had a piece of paper on there that said that. And this is a Manhattan. And it was built in, I think, around 1854. And there's the accoutrements. Now I'm gonna hit double power on it so we'll go down and kind of look around in the case. And there's the English caps, percussion caps. And these are some extra quality staff and fill buttons that he had on his frock coat. And you can see a screwdriver in there. In a Manhattan bullet mold, marked Manhattan. And then I'll kind of just back up on it. But real cool. And now we're going to switch over to his younger brother. And this is Thomas Crittenden. I'm going to go back up slowly. Back here on the Crittenden side, the George side. And then I'm going to take a side step and go over and get his sword. All right, this is the French-made sword, and it was imported and distributed by Schuyler, Hartley, and Graham of New York. Real high quality, marked Schuyler, Hartley, and Graham on the blade. Real fancy blade. And it's ironic, General P.T. Beauregard had the same sword manufacturer, and Colonel Lamont presented him the same sword, except with a French blade and his presentation on the blade, to Beauregard. But same manufacturer, because we have both of them. You can lay them side by side, and they are the same. And here it is, so you know who it is. And I'm going to just kind of go over here and see if I can get some of the blade. And there's the Schuyler, Hartley, and Graham upside down, of course, on the blade. But magnificent New York distributor. I'm gonna back off of it. And now here's the tag that was with it. in Danville, and behind it it says uh, GAR post. I think it's 15. Danville, Kentucky. Is on the back of this little card. I guess it was exhibited with it. And then these were with it. Now we're going to back off a little bit. Now here's George's younger brother, Thomas. I'm trying to get the glare off of it, which I'm seeing in the picture. There we go. Let me take a step back. All right. Now he was on fire during the Civil War. He fought all the major battles right here in Perryville. He commanded the 2nd Corps. I mean, this guy was a crackerjack. I mean, he made it happen. And he was just fabulous. He fought all the Western Theater battles, and then he went east for the last 2 major battles in Eastern Theater. Now, I'm going to get up here on his face here so you can get a real period look at him. There we go. We got the glare off of it there. And that's him. Real high cheekbones. Major General uniform, frock coat. We'll go to the other side. And Jim size. Same gentleman. Get his name down here. General Crittenden. All right, now we're going to go to the ambrotype, which is a glass picture of him, getting a lot of reflection there, in his Major General uniform. Killer Ambro. It's got a hairline crack in it, but it's flawless. Other than that, I mean, striking character. Then I'm going to go down again to another picture. This is a Carta Vista of him in a tintype case. Just get a little look at him. And here is actually, I pulled this out of an old photograph. This is a picture of him in the Mexican War. Just like his brother, he was in the Mexican War, but his brother was a big hero in the Mexican War. And he was with the 3rd Kentucky in the Mexican War. All right, now we're going to go down. We got a couple things of his father here, so you know who his father was, the 14th governor of Kentucky. Or 17th governor, excuse me. And there's his father. And he was a hell of a politician. Him and Andy Jackson were big buddies. And here's a glass image, another ambrotype, early ambrotype of him. And here's some of General Crittenden's buttons off his frock coat. And these are also Shiler, Hartley, and Graham backmarked. See if I can get a little better picture of them. There we go. They're all gold gilded, all matching. But this was the brother against brother scenario that they portrayed in all the books, the magazines, etc. Okay, now that's the last of what we have there on the governor, and the last artifacts of Thomas there. And I'm gonna bring it up here just for a second because there is an after footnote to this. I'm gonna bring up a good picture of this gentleman. All right, let me get the glare out. There you go. All right, this man, fabulous general, Union general, and he was also an attorney, and he had a son, and his son went to West Point, and he had an accident and lost his eye. And he had a glass eye. So nobody really wanted him because they thought, well, you know, the guy's got a glass eye. But actually, Thomas Crittenden hooked him up with General Armstrong Custer. And the rest is history. His son was at the Battle of the Little Bighorn with Custer and was killed there on the hill there where Custer died. And a footnote, and this was written in several 1890s up to 1920s stories about the bighorn. When they all died, they stripped all the uniforms and clothes and artifacts and took them. All the indigenous people did, all the Indians, the Sioux, the Cheyenne, etc. And then most of the squaws would come out and they'd hack them up, actually cut them up, and they'd take arrows and pierce out their eyes and their eardrums so they couldn't see or hear in the afterlife. Well, they got up there and they was getting ready to hack up General Crittenden's son, and they poked him in the eye and that glass eye popped out. And what they say in short, in country boys saying is, they ran for their lives. They thought the eye was going to get them. And it was funny. They stripped him, and he had a gold pocket watch that his father gave to him. And that pocket watch ended up at a trading post in Canada. After the battle, they all headed to the Canadian border. And that pocket watch got traded for some goods or something, food, at the Canadian border. And the guy that ran the little store there, one of the Indian agents come in and they heard of Crittenden, the governor, and they checked it out, and this was the grandson. And so they actually sent that watch back to the family in Kentucky. And that gold watch now is on display in the state of Kentucky at Frankfort at the Clark Museum, magnificent museum. And that gold watch of Thomas Crittenden's son is on display there. That's just a little footnote of how history moves forward. But I'm going to back off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope someday y'all get the opportunity to come to historic Bardstown, Kentucky, and visit with us and see some of these fabulous artifacts of the Western Theater. So from the Civil War Guru, have a great day.